Hello, everyone. Welcome to my last October budget with me. It has been a hot minute since my last video, so there are lots of changes that have come up. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for us here, so we've basically just been taking it day by day. Nothing too crazy in the budget as far as unplanned spending, but definitely some big changes, so let's just jump right in. I did reconcile my account and I did already add the taxes to their appropriate paycheck withholding categories in the budget. So we're good there. In the budget, the biggest change is that Remy finally got off the wait list for daycare and started on Monday this week. We are still waiting for Wes to get in. Hopefully that happens soon, but that added 225 to October for a prorated cost of service, and that adds $902 per month going forward. That November amount is due on the first of the month, so I had to shift stuff and make sure that that was covered before some of our other line items in November, which is exactly what I did. With that change, Trent got to go back to work full time, and I am now working from home full time until Wesley gets in. So, the good news is our net income will actually go up by a lot for now, and then once Wesley gets in, it'll still be up by about $1,100 compared to if Trent was being a stay at home dad, which is the direction we were kind of heading if the kids didn't get into daycare soon. So, we're pretty happy to have Remy in care, and hopefully Wesley will get in soon. I honestly think this is a really good move for our family, just because Remy's getting to socialize with other kids her age and doesn't have to just hang out with mom and dad all day. And even in the first week that she's been in daycare, she's learning a lot. So it's really cool to see those changes. Going back into October and looking at our activity here, all of our monthly bills are pretty much exactly what we thought they would be. Living expenses, groceries seem high even to me, but this was a 5 Saturday month and we budget $300 per Saturday. So that would put us at 1500 for the month, which is basically where we're at. If you've seen any other video of mine, you know we live in a very high cost of living area, so that is why our grocery cost is so high. Unfortunately, we are not getting super nice, bougie, extra specialty food or anything like that. That's just what our weekly groceries end up costing, and I haven't figured out a way to reduce it by more yet. Cleaning and home supplies, I had a little impulse purchase last week. I was Amazoning and I ended up ordering two smaller rugs for our kitchen and entryway, a cute, like, plush area rug for Remy's room, some child safety locks, and a couple of kitchen gadgets. So, all of those were things that I've had on my list to buy. I just hadn't planned for them this month. So, I'm calling it an impulse purchase. And then childcare. This category is for kid related items like diapering, supplies, snacks, toys. I realized this month that we have like a diaper hoard at this point. I've been ordering 2 boxes per month on autopilot because we were using them, frankly, and my kids wear the same size diaper. But Remy pretty much fully potty trained herself in the last 2 months, so she hasn't been using diapers, and now we have a lot. So I get to skip our diaper purchase for November, which will put 85 bucks back in the budget, and then we might get to skip in December, not sure yet. So, those are the little nuances in our budget for this month. Everything was pretty well right on track, so I'm happy with the end result for October, which I'll talk about in just a second. I did change our medical expenses category. I just rearranged it basically. I had a medical expenses category in sinking funds as well as an out of pocket max category in unexpected expenses, and it had just started to bug me. So I combined those into one sinking fund, and I made the goal amount for medical expenses the out of pocket max amount, which is 8250. Technology is kind of a funny one. We actually bought a TV this month. We already had a 42-inch, which is, a pretty decent TV. And Trent helped his boss move last weekend. He's moving back to the East Coast. And he asked Trent while they were moving stuff if he wanted to buy his 65-inch Samsung, basically brand new smart TV. This TV is a monster, you guys. I'm actually not sure how I feel about it now that we have it, but Trent asked how much, and the guy asked well, how much do you want to pay for it? So Trent offered him $200 because he figured we could probably sell our current TV for $200 and make it a wash. So Mike agreed, and then plot twist, he had a second TV, a 49-inch, that he just wanted to get rid of. He told us he didn't care what we did with it. So we sold the 42-inch for $200, and I inflowed that one back into technology to wash the difference. And then we sold the 49-inch for $220, and I inflowed that as income since we made a profit of $220 and we got a big old TV out of it. So I've already gone through our October budget and kind of cleared out everything that I don't want to roll over. That's why fuel is showing underfunded. I moved the last $6 into November already. We won't need gas before November. And I also moved this unexpected expense money into November already. I like to keep a $200 float basically in my budget. So when something I hadn't planned for comes up or I overspend on something, I can steal from this category and refill it with the next paycheck rather than stealing from another line or from funding that I had already done in the future. So, as I said, October is closed out. All of our budgeting today will be done in November. I don't think we'll quite get November fully funded before the month starts, but we are very, very close. Our current financial goal is to be a month ahead, and if daycare hadn't popped up, we would have been there this month, but I'm thinking most likely we'll have December funded before December starts. Now, I mentioned I'm really happy with the end result for October. I am referring to this income versus expense report, which is one of my favorite features that we get out of using YNAB. My ultimate favorite is the net worth tracker. I just really love this report, especially because both savings and debt payoff are reflected with the same importance within this report. When I stopped aggressively paying off debt and focused on getting a month ahead, I was worried that we would stop seeing forward progress, which would be discouraging. But as you can see, that is not the case. We have increased our net worth by almost $30,000 since April, which is when I did my fresh start. I think we're pushing 35,000 since the start of the year, and in just October, we've increased our net worth by over $3,000. So all of this gives me kind of a boost that I need to stay the course. I love seeing this. And we did hit under 100,000 in debt this month, which was also really exciting. But back to the income versus expense report, I like to compare the last 3 months at all times basically. We really got our spending under control in September compared to the months prior. We should have no further expenses in the month of October. So our final net income will be almost 3,400 this month. Last month it was 2,500. If I had gotten my full 3 paychecks in October, we would have been pushing 4,800. Our goal is to continue seeing these kinds of gains month over month. We've gotten our base monthly expenses somewhere around 6,500. That is a real number based on these reports, not just an estimate. That's with extra splurges, fun money, high grocery costs. That's what we've come out to for our average, basically, which means that we are living well below our means and we can reasonably expect to see net increases of probably around 2,000 in a normal month and upwards of 5,000 in an extra paycheck or a bonus month. So, anyways, I will go ahead and get into the November budget. First thing I want to do is go ahead and fund this credit card bill. This second credit card will be fully funded to pay off the balance of the card once our phone bill comes out. When that comes out, YNAB will automatically move those funds into the credit card available balance, and then we'll have the $188 payment ready to go to pay the card off before it assesses interest. So the next thing I want to do is give Trent and myself our spending money. We used to do $40 per week when we were budgeting paycheck to paycheck. We talked about it earlier this week and decided to do a set amount each month instead, especially since we're budgeted a month ahead. We don't have to worry about like a week to week basis. It's more of like a month to month basis now. And we decided we want to bump it up to 250 each. We both have things on our mind that we would have just bought and figured out how to cover a few months ago. Now that we do all of those things with our spending money only, we're feeling kind of restricted. The discipline is a good thing overall, but I want to make sure that we're giving ourselves some grace since this is a permanent change in how we budget. I want it to feel sustainable. So I'll go ahead and fund those at $250 each. And then I want to jump back up to the top here and work our way through these monthly bills. I just got the final bill for November for electricity, the final amount came out to, and it was 220. This month, or for October, I should say, it was 199. The month before, I think it was 160. So as the months get colder, I'm seeing this trend that it goes up a little. We also put a space heater in Wesley's room for the first time in October, because his room has a back door to the outside. We have like this outside storage room area that is not insulated. So his room was getting really, really cold. And we decided for the month of October to try out the space heater and see how much it hurt our electricity bill. And it only went up by $20. So I am totally okay with keeping that going in his room because it really kept his room comfortable for him. So I'll go ahead and fund electricity. We'll get internet funded, storage unit, car insurance, heating fuel, and then my term life insurance. So those should be all set. This heating fuel is an estimate. It was only $78 last month. Again, as we're getting colder, this is going to go up each month. I'm budgeting 180. Hopefully, it's under or close to that. We'll see. And then I'm going to jump again. I'm going to skip groceries for just a minute. I'm going to go down and cover our holiday fund. This is money that we'll be using for Christmas gifts and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that we've got that money ready to go. And then I just want to see. Yeah, so we're only underfunded in the rest of these savings categories by $350. So I'm going to go ahead and just fund them. I mentioned in my last video that the plan was to skip them, and then we had a car emergency come up that wiped out our car maintenance fund. So I'm going to go back on what I said. It's easy to skip those when everything is going well, but seeing an empty car maintenance bubble makes me a little bit too uncomfortable. So we're going to start rebuilding that. We're going to keep saving. We did make the decision, instead of going to Anchorage for baby time, we're going to go to Spokane. There's a couple of reasons. My parents are still going to cover flights for us, so we don't have to worry about that cost. And then my brother-in-law and his family live in Spokane, so they are going to let us stay with them. We probably will still get an Airbnb in Spokane, but we might just do like the last 3 weeks or so instead of the full 6 weeks. And that's probably going to more than halve this amount that we had expected to spend. Airbnbs in Spokane are much cheaper than they are in Anchorage for whatever reason. So, and then they have an extra car they're going to let us use. So I don't think we're going to need to fund a car rental. And my insurance is in network at most of the hospitals in Spokane. So fortunately, we won't be spending any extra to be down there for medical costs. And then last but not least, I'll go ahead and throw the rest of our paycheck into groceries. That $600 will cover the next few weeks worth of groceries, but we'll be able to finish this line up next week when Trent gets paid, and then we can start funding December. So my big goal was to get us a month ahead and then start funding these baby plan expenses, as I've said many times. Now that those are, I guess the edge has kind of taken off, we're not going to have to spend as much to make this trip happen. I'm definitely not as concerned about getting everything reserved as I had been. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. We still have an extra paycheck coming in the month of November, and then I have my Christmas bonus in December, and there's still the possibility of a couple of extra inflows before I really start getting worried about making reservations or anything. And then we also, of course, have credit available to us if worst case scenario, something major came up and we needed to put any of those expenses on debt. We do have that as an option, kind of a last resort option, but options are good. So, anyways, that's it for my last October paycheck. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.